Everyone, today's video is going to be how we replace the circuit board on our furnace. Why? Because our furnace let us down. Since we've been out on the road, we hit a few cold spells, but the first major one that we hit, it was going down to 21 degrees. So we ran out to Home Depot, we picked up pipe insulation, we picked up a couple of electric heaters, but the one thing that we had as our backup was the furnace. We went to bed that night, we had everything going, got up the next morning, and I mean, it was cold in here naturally, because we don't set the furnace very high. Number one, we don't like it to be too hot in here, and number two, we're cheap, propane's expensive.
Plus it's noisy.
Yeah. So I got up and I went over and I checked the furnace. You know, I looked at the thermostat, I'm like, why isn't this running? Because it was colder in here than the thermostat was set to. So I shut the thermostat off, put it back on, bumped it up a little bit more. Furnace kicked on with the blower. I heard the tick, 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 tick. But I never heard the
You're so animated.
You know, the gas sound when it's burning. It went through its 3 cycles that it will do, and then faulted out. So I was like,
Uh-oh.
I went over to the stove, turned the stove on, and that was working fine. So we shut the furnace off, let it sit for a while, turned it back on, same thing. There was just none of the rumble of when the gas ignites. So we're like, well, all right, let's take Brandy for a morning walk, and then I'll come back and I'll start doing research online. Wouldn't you know it, we were out walking through the park. It's a mobile RV tech. That was pretty cool. We went over and talked to him. We said, hey, our furnace isn't working. You know, can you come by and look at it? He says, I'm booked for the next 3 weeks. I'm like, uh-oh. So we're leaving Monday. He says, I'm not going to be able to help you. I'm like, could you give us a ballpark then? And we explained what the furnace was doing, and he said, well, he says, without seeing it, you're probably looking at $200 to $400, depending what it is. He says, because it could be the igniter, could be the circuit board, could be both. So there was nothing he could do about it. So we came back, and I told Charles, we'll just go out and buy a couple more electric heaters until we can get this fixed. That I sat down because we had to get a video ready for you guys. And then Cheryl went walking by, and she says, I'm going to go pull that cover off and just see if I can see anything.
I just wanted to see if I could see a clog, anything.
So we came out here. This is where our furnace is. So we need to take the cover off. You can see that there are 5 screws, and there's 4 here on the exhaust port. There's also one more hidden underneath the exhaust port. Now if you take a look at the screw, can you zoom in on that a little bit? That's called a Robinson head screw. It looks like it could be a Phillips head. But if you've done any work on an RV and you try to use a Phillips head on these, sometimes it works, sometimes it strips them. What you need is you need a square bit. I'll have a link in the description box down below. These make life so much easier when you're working on an RV.
We bought 4 of them.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna take these out now. Leaving one in while I loosen this. Not that it's gonna fall out, because we still have that other screw in there. All right, now in order to get to the last one that's under here, I pull this out a little bit and tilt it just so I can get the bit up to it. Careful on the paint. That takes that out. Take off the last one. And just pull it right off. Maybe stuck a little bit. There you go. Okay, and by the way that water is prevented from going in here, because you can see the groove all around, on the back of this is a rubber gasket. That's what prevents the water from going in. Make sure that you pull with this, and there you go. Right there is what our furnace looks like on the inside.
Caution, this is not meant to be an instructional video. We are not professionals. We are just RV owners attempting to do maintenance on our own RV. We are not responsible for anyone attempting this maintenance on their own. Get going with us!
We took the cover off, right, like it is here, and we're looking. These wires down here, there was water dripping out of them, right down onto the circuit board. Circuit board was drenched.
There was water up here. There was water down on here.
Yeah.
And there was water underneath the circuit board.
Yeah, and before we go any further, shut it off. We thought for sure that the circuit board was fried. But where'd the water come from? Because it was dripping down, a puddle right here. We're like, well, where's it coming from? It's gotta be coming from up top. We checked all back here, all the wood was dry. We had no clue. And then Cheryl was like, hey, wait a minute, let me check something. Cheryl came around and decided, let me check that rubber gasket on the back. This is the rubber gasket. Don't pay any attention to this gray thing. This is the rubber gasket here. When she was looking at it, she noticed that up here, see the indentions? There was water going past it. It was all wet down here, in 2 spots actually. So figured that's where the water was coming from. And we had some of this seal foam tape.
Camper seal foam tape.
Yeah, we'll have a link to it in the description box down below. Cheryl said, let me try putting some of that on. And as you can see how the indention is here? Look how much thicker it is here. So obviously it wasn't holding. I don't know if the screws weren't tight enough or whatever, but
This stuff worked great.
this stuff works great because there has not been a bit of water going in there since. Now, in case you're wondering, this is one of the Atwood HydroFlame furnaces. And seeing how we knew where the water was coming from and how to stop it, now we needed to take care of the circuit board. And there's only one screw that holds it on. Different ones, we've seen the circuit board being over here, you know, this way, which would have been a lot better than this way, because the water wouldn't have accumulated on it. So this is only held on by one screw. With that out, just slide the board right out because it clips in the back. But all right, so that is our circuit board. Can you see that rust?
Yep.
That's how bad it was. Okay. The bottom is clean. Well, it's rusty here, but it's a lot cleaner both sides. What we did was we brushed off all of the rust and corrosion on both sides, and then on this side, what I did after we brushed it off, I took a pencil eraser and started tracing along these, but see how there's still corrosion along them? That's why we're going to change this out.
Plus we took a hairdryer to it.
Yes, we took a hairdryer to it. We did everything, and we put it back in. And guess what? It worked perfectly.
Yay! But let's change this out. Here's our new clean board.
Yes, it even includes an adapter for the older model, so this one will work on that. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to carry that over there. I'm going to switch the wires. There's not that many, but I just want to make sure I get them all in the right places. Going to do this one first. Pull back on this and just pry it up. Just like that. And that is going to pop on here like this. You want these to the back. And it's going to fit tight. Sort of. Like that. There we go. Okay, that one's in. These 2 wires here are going to go on these 2. So take this one off first. Put it on just like that until it locks in. And take the second one off. Yeah, look, see the rust in here? Crazy. Actually, I'm gonna brush that off a little bit. There's rust on that too. And that's clean. As clean as I can get it anyway. Put that one on. Make sure it seats all the way down. All right, we have one left. Oh, and by the way, when we were out here working it, we also noticed that this wire was ready to break off, so we remade it. That one's done. Now it's locked on. We're just gonna put it exactly back the same way the other one was and put the screw in. Look, again, we're not professionals, so I'm not saying that we did everything right just before putting that on. All right, before we go
Let's see how nasty this
Yeah.
is. But we will keep it as a spare.
Yeah, because we know it works. Now, I'm gonna put the exhaust port back in temporarily. I'm gonna turn on the furnace just to see if it works. You wanna make sure this is in if you have to turn on the furnace.
Because we got to turn it on before he can test it. There you go.
There it is on that sound.
Yes, it is. Woo!
And so we're gonna put it back together, and well, pretty much this job will be over. To be on the safe side, we are applying another piece of this seal foam.
A new piece. Bump it right up against the top. Put it down. And then trim the edge.
Now to put this back on, you have to insert it through here first. And it's gonna fit on that. Did you get the exhaust port?
It's gonna fit on that exhaust port.
Yep. And you want it in that direction. Well, we do anyway. Alright. And once that's somewhat in, you can line this up and start putting the screws into it. Be careful if you're going to use power putting these in, because you do not want to go and crack it.
Now the hidden one.
And that just fits. Each hole will fit on one of these spots there. Line them up and put them in. All right, it's back together. And there you go, the board is in. Remember, we are not professionals. We only showed you how we repaired our furnace by putting in a new circuit board. Instead of paying $200 to $400, we paid $84. We'll have the links down in the description box below. If you like what you saw, though, we'd appreciate that thumbs up as always. You want to become part of the Grow and Get Gone With Us gang? Right down there in the corner. Just click it and you're in.
If you have any questions or comments, you can put them right down below. Or you could just say hi.
Because we'll say hi back, we always do. Till our next video, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Cheryl.
We'll get gone with us. Bye.
Bye.